Queen's enormous 500-year-old art collection has become the latest victim of the woke brigade, with pieces being checked for links to slavery and empire. The Royal Collection Trust, who are conducting the review, haven't said how many pieces have failed their test, but royal sources claim that descriptions are being changed to bring them in line with modern attitudes. These include works like this painting of Sir Thomas Picton, once dubbed the hero of Waterloo. The caption for this portrait now notes his involvement in the torture and slave trade. Other works which have been updated include more than 1,500 British Empire-themed photos from Prince Edward's trip to the British Raj in 1921. So, what do we think? Is the Queen bowing to wokery, or is it just common sense, just keeping up to date with history? JJ?
I think it's common sense, but first of all, this is not wokery. This is the word woke does not appeal. It doesn't apply to anything that is just doing the right thing.
Yeah,
it's
I agree with you.
Yeah, so the wording there is completely incorrect, and it's not just snowflakes who get offended by things. Normal people like I get offended too. The Queen, the royal family, the British Empire built on slavery. Their fortune was built on theft from other countries. I'm sure we've seen some lovely pictures there, some paintings. I wonder what else they've got that they've taken from other countries. That
you say taken, though.
I can tell you right now.
Well, hang on a second, because I think the thing is that there's two things here. One part of it is the more that we know about where things have come from, the better. If, however, you're trying to correct things and say it's theft, it's this, it's that, then everything in some shape or form is theft, because we've had religions which have sort of gone and taken their cultures. And if you're not careful, then you try and rewrite history, don't you?
Well, it's not about rewriting history. I kind of hear what you're saying, but a lot of things in the Queen's collection have been obtained, I'm going to be very honest, by ill-gotten gains. I mean, Queen Victoria literally had an exhibition of objects that were stolen from rival monarchs. Let's think about the looted Benin bronzes. There was a leather cap from the Ashanti Kingdom in 1874 that was taken when the British looted Kumasi, which is the capital of the Akan culture in Ghana. All these things were looted and are part of the Queen's collection.
So who do they belong to now? Do they still belong to the Queen? And we should say she nicked it?
They belong to the Queen now, but they were looted by the British Army. Yeah. So they belong to Ghana or Sudan or Nigeria or India.
Yeah. But how do you not know? How do you know that when they were stolen? How do you know that they didn't have accomplices who helped them get them?
Even if they had accomplices, they should not be in the Queen's collection. Yeah. So I think
return them.
Because they've been stolen from other kingdoms.
No. You're trying to rewrite history.
How am I rewriting history?
You're rewriting history.
I am not rewriting history. If these objects were stolen from other kingdoms and they were acknowledged that they were stolen...
Who are you to come in now 200 years later and say you've stolen them?
Mike, if I steal your Maserati, if a friend steals your Maserati and gives it to me...
I haven't got a Maserati.
You're getting one, though.
I might do.
You are getting one. So if someone steals it and it turns up in my garage, I didn't steal it, but now I'm like, OK, I love this, then is that not still theft?
Well, if I've already claimed it on the insurance, you can have it. And I'll just get another one. No problem. You know, get over it. Don't spend your life regressing something that happened thousands of years ago.
I think there are two issues that are being muddled here. There's the issue of, objects and artefacts that have been pillaged and stolen, and I actually think it's too late. I mean, just look at the Elgin marbles. That's difficult enough, and they really do have a proper say to that. However, I think the issue of rewriting history, I actually think we do need to rewrite history, because the history that we learn misses out so much about slavery. I think we need to make history include slavery, and the history of the royal family doesn't include, and their connection to slavery. I mean, the royal family was the only family that was allowed to trade in slaves until the Revolution, and a direct descendant, a direct ancestor of the Queen's, direct line, the future, the Duke of York at the time, future king, he made his maiden speech in the House of Lords against abolishing slavery. They have a big tradition of, so they were the #1 slavery family.
Let me ask you this question, though, because I think it is important to... It's not a question of rewriting history, it's about knowing more, and I've just been through, as a trustee of a major London venue, to go through our past to try and work out exactly what has happened, where the money came from, and all these things, and I think it's important that we know. So I think it's important that history includes all of the things that we're now learning to make sure that we tell a better story. When that starts starts to lean into either rewriting and knocking down and taking down statues, or almost erasing the history, or saying, you know, we've got to have reparations and all this sort of stuff, then I think you're moving into the realms of, like, fantasy land. Because we're not the people who, you know, we're 2 or 3 or 4 generations later. I think that's a different discussion. It's not to say that I know what the answer is, but I think that's a different discussion from knowing more about the history.
I hear what you're saying. We didn't finish paying for slavery in our taxes until 6 years ago, so it's not that far removed from us.
Still going on as well, by the way.
Are we still paying it?
No, we're still modern-day slavery. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
I'd rather get rid of that than get rid of the old stuff.
Get rid of them both. Now